When you ask a car enthusiast who the founder of drifting is, the answer you usually get is Keiichi Tsuchiya, also known as Drift King. He and his Toyota Corolla mastered the art of going sideways in the perfect car control. But he isn't the one that actually invented drifting. He took inspiration from a racing driver by the name of Kunimitsu Takahashi, also nicknamed the father of drifting. As a tribute, his last name was used in the initial D series for two of the main characters, Ryosuke and Keisuke. But who was Kunimitsu Takahashi? How did he invent drifting? And why isn't he as well known as Drift King? Kunimitsu Takahashi was born in 1940 in Tokyo, Japan. He started racing as soon as he turned 18, although not in cars yet. He was a passionate motorcycle racer and won almost every single series from 1958 to 1960. By the age of 20, he was one of the most successful Japanese riders. Riding on fame and bit, Kunimitsu really admired the work of Soichiro Honda, and as soon as he managed to attract Honda's attention, he got a ride in MotoGP, the biggest form of motorcycle racing in the world. There were no tarmac circuits in Japan at the time, since it was still recovering from the impacts of World War II. So with no real experience on a real racetrack, he was already enrolled in the Motorcycle Grand Prix series. Even though he wasn't nearly as experienced as his competitors, he won a race in his second year in 1961 in Germany. He therefore became the first ever Japanese racer to win a World Grand Prix. Over the course of his 5-year MotoGP career, he managed to amass 4 wins and a best finish of 4th in the season standings. In 1962, he decided to try to race in the Isle of Man, the most dangerous bike race in the world. He was ready to become a star and prove he won't back out of any challenge. He crashed just 2.5 miles from the start line, barely completing a tenth of the 37-mile race. Spending a good while unconscious after the nasty accident, he decided to finish his contract with Honda and then give up on motorcycle racing altogether. Everyone thought that would be a very sad ending for a very promising young prodigy. They had no clue his real career was just about to start. He never quit racing, he just switched motorcyclers for cars. He signed a deal with Prince Motor Company, which was Nissan's racing division in 1964. He drove the Nissan R30A2 and the legendary Skyline GTR. Just look at the thing, there's no other word for it but gorgeous. He fought at the front, fighting for wins and podiums, but had notoriously bad luck. Technical difficulties would often compromise his races, but he would build a reputation as a guy that would finish a race no matter what. He didn't care if his car had 3 wheels and could only shift to 1st and 4th. He would finish the race with honor. And that's why people loved him. Now we're getting to the drifting part. Kunimitsu and 2 of his friends founded the famous trio called Oppama Works Miragurasu. The word Miragurasu means 3 crows, but the meaning is very similar to the 3 Musketeers, which is how they were known outside of Japan. These 3 and their Skylines went on to dominate the Japanese road car series. They built a reputation for the GTR that lives on to this day. Kunimitsu himself won 50 races in 3 years, which helped build the Skyline's legacy as one of the most successful Japanese cars of all time. But all this success didn't change the world as much as how he's done it. Oversteer and oversteer correction is, and always was, a common thing in motorsport, happening to every single driver multiple times per race. The difference between Kunimitsu and the others was that to others, oversteer was a mistake to correct. But for Kunimitsu, it became a technique to carry more speed through the corners. He started drifting without even knowing it. So unlike others, he did it intentionally. Most of his turns would now be referred to as the slip angle, which is now a common technique. But from time to time, he'd whip it completely sideways just to entertain the crowd. One of the people he entertained and motivated was Keiichi Tsuchiya. You know where that goes, right? He also went on to race in open wheelers like Formula 3000, Formula 2, and even raced in Formula 1 at Fuji International Speedway. He was a noble man, sacrificing a win in the F2000 championship after his friend and rival Keiichi Takahashi crashed at Suzuka. He immediately stopped his car and ran towards Keiichi to help him out. The final 10 years of his racing career were spent racing in Super Formula, Japanese prototype racing, Le Mans, and touring cars. He retired from racing altogether at the end of 1999. Kunimitsu eventually founded his own racing team called Team Kunimitsu. Wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Kunimitsu Takahashi died on March 16, 2022 of lymphoma at the age of 82. He might be gone, the legacy he started will stay with us. If it wasn't for this man and the accident at the Isle of Man, we would have probably taken a long time to figure out how to drift. I think it's safe to say, Kunimitsu, you're a legend.